All right, Kwame Asharala, Yabrakakam, Yahweh Basham, Hamashiach Yahushai. It's your brother Karzaya Ban Yashala, and we are back at it like Torah addicts out of rehab. Going through the next part of this week's Torah portion, which is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. All right. And I pray that everybody had a Brak Yawam, everybody had a blessed day, everybody had a blessed Shabbat. I got something that's bothering me, man. I just want to talk about real quick, man. So ever since this foolery came up, what's going on my left side? Ever since this foolery came up, man, with this new false doctrine that came from Julius Whalens, all right. I got something on my screen. And the whole teaching against sacrifices, and that Yahushai never accepted, sacrifices, and that we're supposed to be mandatory vegans. Like, ever since this lion foolery came up, there's been nothing but a bunch of contention amongst Israel. Shalom aliyah Shabbat, how Shemar Latah. I mean, even with me, the scripture says, I tell you the truth, therefore I become your enemy. And that's what we're seeing. It's like, Israel hate the truth and love the lie. And that's so troubling, man. That's so discouraging, man, because we're supposed to be a people that look into things and investigate and know details and stuff. But, a lot of Yasha'alim and a lot of Israelites are just what I like to call polyparrots. They're just repeating what other people say without actually investigating and finding out for themselves. So I want to encourage you all, if you come across this false doctrine, or, if you got people that separated from you because of it, I encourage you, man, just look these things up for yourself. Okay. All right. We like to prove things. And, anytime somebody comes to you telling you that the Bible got contradictions in it, I would really tell you to investigate that person, and then after you investigate that person, you take the information that they gave you and look it up and find out, if it's true or not, and by that way, you'll be able to stand on your own by Shema Mashiach Yahushua, and that's what I encourage, I encourage everybody learning how to stand on their own with their relationship with the Most High, man, not another person's relationship. You gotta have your own relationship with Yahweh, this is an individual salvation walk thing. All right, so I'm gonna get to reading the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. And children of Israel, Shalom, Aliyah Shabbat. It's always a blessing to see you. All right, I appreciate you always being there, man. I appreciate you holding it down. All right, so as we get into it, I'm gonna be real mellow, probably real chill, real laid back. This will not be a very long video. I'm gonna try to keep it under an hour and a half. All right, and man. All right. All right. So let's get to it real quick. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. And, it's my pleasure to do this. It's my pleasure to read the Torah, to go over the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh. It's my pleasure to. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then while we do that, we're going to find out, if Yahweh, when he sends his only begotten son, Yahushua, when he sends his son back, will we be performing sacrifices? The answer to the question is yes. Not only will we be performing sacrifices when Yahushua comes back, but there's going to be great death when Yahushua comes back. You got brothers talking about we're going back to the Garden of Eden. Negro, you don't even know what the Garden of Eden was. You don't know what we ate in the Garden of Eden. You don't know how we, operate in the Garden of Eden. We only have a small amount of information, from the old days, but we do have prophecies to show us what will happen in the times to come. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on that. All right. I do not own the rights to this music. That was a song that was by that's Rock Stone or Raga Rock Stone by Stephen Marley. All right, another Edomite family. In case you didn't know, the Marleys are Edomites. Their father, Bob Marley, he's not an Israelite. He's a Edomite. His father is a French European man who had sex with an Israelite woman from the tribe of Benjamin. And she produced a mamzer. She produced a man that's from another nation. And, he actually learned from I forgot the name of the Israelite. Bob Marley actually learned from another Israelite elder. I can't think of his name right now, but he learned from another Israelite elder, and the brother did a wonderful job. He taught Bob Marley very well. But that's what Gentiles do, man. They learn the ways of Israel and they try to take over, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Even to the degree to where they call themselves high priests and stuff like that, man. It happened in the old times and it happens today. So, we got to trust in the goodness of our stock. All right. Stick with your nation. Stick with your people. All right. Let's get to this real quick. I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. This will not be a very long reading, but it's a very powerful reading. The reason why I say that is because Isaiah chapter 66 is one of my favorites. Hey, shalom, yashala, shalom, shalom, ra'ashwan, arab, shalom, aliyah, shabai. All right, shalom, everybody that's watching right now. All right, so let's get finished up with this. So this week's Torah portion, Isaiah chapter 66, very powerful. And if you've never heard this, you really do need to hear it. I remember telling friends and family members like, hey, eating unclean meats, the Most High, he'll put you to death for that. You can die from eating unclean meats. Not all meats altogether. The Most High said we're not supposed to eat. He only said clean and unclean meats. He made a difference in the separation of, and he taught us to teach the difference between clean and unclean. So that's what we're going to get into real quick. Leviticus chapter 11, KJV, BLB. Now, for those of you who don't know, the book of Leviticus chapter 11 is what's called the dietary law, okay? And the dietary law was given us by the Most High through the mouth of Masha, through the mouth of Moses. And it's the laws on what we're supposed to eat, what we're not supposed to eat. Now, before we go to Isaiah chapter 66, we're going to read the book of Leviticus chapter 11. We're going to start there. All right. Kanaya, shalom. Oh, Kanaya. I said, Rashman, shalom, Kanaya. That's funny. She was like, Kanaya. Okay, all praise. Shalom, Kanaya. How much like that? All right, so let's get this real quick, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. But listen to this in your, through your hearing, through your spirit. Try to get it in you good and understand this. The Most High told us to not eat unclean meats. Okay, this is in every Bible on the planet, and nowhere in the Bible does it says Jesus came and died for our sins. So now we can eat shrimp, catfish, lobster, crab, pork, none of that. All right, you'll never find that in the Bible. Okay, you'll never find that anywhere in the Bible to where it's okay. Well, Jesus died for your sins, so now you can do whatever you want to. Nah, I know, right? It's like the water can I. So again, it's nowhere in the Bible. It's nowhere in the Bible. All right, we offended Yahweh by our being disobedient to his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, we offended him by our being disobedient, and he gave us a way out of our offense by offering to us a reasoning, which was animal sacrifice. Instead of us dying, the animal was supposed to take our place for our sins and die for us. It wasn't for us to just start having big barbecues for. You actually, whatever animal you sacrifice for, you're supposed to feel repentative for. You're supposed to feel apologetic for that thing. Okay, you're supposed to be, like, oh man, that animal took my place. I should be dead. And then that should have caused us to stop giving sacrifices. But what happened was our sacrifices increased as our wickedness increased. Okay, so as our sacrifice increased, as our wickedness increased, Yahweh came up with a different way. And this is a plan that he had from the beginning. All right. And that other way was to send his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus Christ. All right. Yahweh Shai is his name in Paleo Hebrew. He sent them to come and die for the sins of Israel instead of Israel giving animal sacrifices. Now, there's places in the Bible where the Most High, he got fed up with us. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of y'all, and I'm tired of y'all fake apologies. I'm tired of your excessive sacrifices. All right. Who told you to come and do this like this? All right. Who told you to come and tread my courts is what he says in the book of Isaiah chapter 1. Now, the fact of the matter is the Most High gave us instructions on performing and giving sacrifices. All right. But upon us doing it so excessively, without any care, just being, just wicked. The Most High was like, look, I don't want your sacrifices. He said, what I want from you is a sincere apology, a broken spirit, a contrite heart. Contrite heart means after you do bad, you're like, you know what? I ain't going down that route no more. That's what a contrite heart means. Contrite heart is once you realize that you've been doing wrong, you get fed up with the wrong that you've been doing, and you say, hey, listen, you know, this isn't for me. I'm going to try a different way. I'm going to apply to do righteousness from now on and forever. And that's where I am. I'm at the point to where it's like, I don't want to do wicked no more. I'm going to apply to do righteousness from now on and forever. All right. Might I make mistakes? I just might. Might I stumble? Absolutely. The scripture says the righteous man falleth 7 times, but he get back up. So we will make mistakes. We will fall. We will stumble. But the Most High said that we can get back up. All right. So, and remember this, grace is not a license to sin. Just because we have grace in Yahweh by Shalom Mashiach Yahushai doesn't mean we have permission to continually sin. Okay. So let's look at this real quick. We're going to go to the law of the diet, the dietary law. Okay. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11. And you can show this to your friends, to your families. Okay. You can show this to your mashpachat, to your friends, family. See what they have to say about it. Let the Most High teach them out of the Bible. You be the one to encourage and teach your friends and family. So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 1, and it reads, and Yahweh, Waya Amar, and Yahweh spake unto Moshe and Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever part of the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Now, I remember the first time I heard this scripture some years back, I was like, what? Because I didn't know what this scripture meant, nor did I know what it was referring to. The Most High tells us whatever parts the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud, that amongst the beasts shall ye eat. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to see if I can just do a real easy search. Boom. Y'all know I like to study. I like to research things. But above all, you know, I like for you to know what I know. You see this? All we did was just do a Google image of the exact same verse. Okay. So let's see if we can zoom in. All right. This is a digestive tract of a cow. I think a cow has like 5 stomachs. It digests food very good. So this is what it means to be cloven footed. To have a split hoof means to be cloven footed. Now, this would be the foot like of a cow. It looks like a cow's foot. Okay. So cows have a split in their foot. Okay. So this is what it means to be cloven footed. Any animal that is a land animal that chews the cud. This is cud. All of this grass that's on the ground, all of this grass, that's cud. Okay. This is a cloven footed animal. Okay. So you want to be able to eat animals that here's a good example. This is a camel's foot. Okay. This is a camel. A camel doesn't have a hoof. They have, no pun intended, this is a camel's toe. Okay. No pun intended, but this is a camel toe. All right. Camel's toes. That's a better way to say it. This is a camel's toes. Okay. And notice that it doesn't have a hoof. See, this is a split hoof. This is a camel's toes. Okay. But let's look at some other animals. Now, this animal is a cat, as we know. Okay. A cat doesn't have a split hoof. Uh-oh. I don't know what I did, y'all. I apologize. Now, let me see if I can. There we go. There we go. There we go. See, a rabbit doesn't have a split hoof. A rabbit has paws. Camels don't have split hooves. Camels have camel's toes. No pun intended, but it's still funny. Okay. Okay. Slightly, I got some hair grease on my screen. Now it's doing what it want to do. Okay. What about raccoons? Can we eat raccoons? Raccoons don't have split hooves. They have paws. What about mice? Mice have, I don't know what the hell mice have, but we can't eat them. But listen, there are people that eat them. And if you're still eating at Chinese restaurants, it's more than likely you're eating mice. Okay. Because Moab does serve people mice. Even, and watch this. There are some Arab cultures who do believe it's okay to eat the desert mouse. Okay. So there's some animals, you know, that these nations feed to us and we don't take it into consideration. So when we're looking at the law that's in Leviticus chapter 11, all right, here's a really good example. I guess this is saying this is a goat's foot. See, it has to have a split hoof. All right. And it has to do what? It's called chew the cud. Chew the cud means it has to eat the grass. Okay. Here's a really good example. Split hoof. All right. Split hoof. Now, a horse does not have a split hoof. A horse has a full frontal horseshoe foot. I mean, it has a full hoof. Okay. It has a full hoof. Here's another good example of split hooves. Now, here's something. Pigs, they have split feet. They have split hooves, but pigs don't chew the cud. Pigs are very nasty. We're not supposed to eat pig, swine, bacon. Different cuts of the pigs are abominations altogether. So no, we are not supposed to eat the pig. Okay, no parts of it. Okay, but the crazy part about it is the Most High said we can sell it to the Gentiles. We can't eat it, but we can sell it to the Gentiles to eat. Isn't that something? And that's what they do to us instead. You know, some nations won't eat it, but they'll sell it to us. All right. And the dietary law that's in the Bible is, you know, was first. The Quran and the dietary law in the Quran, that's secondary. The dietary law from the Quran came from the dietary law in the Bible. Okay. And we are the only nation who has laws so righteous. Okay. So if anybody comes along telling you that, hey, all them laws in the Bible, man, they're done away with, just don't listen to them. Just don't listen to them and go read for yourself. All right, so let's get back to this. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud or of them that divide the hoof, as in the camel. Why? Because camels chew cud, but they don't have a split hoof. Because it cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. See, so the Most High keeps telling us unclean. This animal is unclean. This animal is unclean. So he tells us don't eat these animals. Now, funny fact, there's a lot of people that eat rabbits. But the crazy part about it is rabbits are full of tapeworms. And that's not like a, you know, it's actually not funny. It's pretty sad and disgusting. But for whatever reason, you know, the Most High, that's how he did it. You know, rabbits are full of tapeworms. But there are people who actually eat rabbits. Okay. And we're not supposed to. So we're going down a list of what Yahweh tells us to eat. Look at this. All right. What's this? Third on the list? He says, verse 7. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Now, I'm just going to take this verse right here. I'm just going to carry it up to the new tab window. All right. And I'm going to hit images. When you click on images, you get all these different pictures of pork, pig, swine's flesh. All right. Look at this, man. If y'all only knew, all right, that's a wonderful verse. Job chapter 14, verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So the pig has always been an unclean animal. You can't make it clean. Okay. There's no cut of it. There's nothing of the swine that will ever be okay for you to eat. All right. Nothing. And it's so crazy because the sound of pigs dying, and especially in those slaughterhouses, they sound like the sound of, you know, like if I don't know, I've never heard a demon scream, but the way that they sound is just so unnatural, man, just terrible. Like the way pigs sound is just so terrible. This is funny. No matter how much you pray, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, you know, you can't make this thing clean or something like that. I don't know. All right. But look, here's a picture. All right. Here's a picture. All right. Here's pigs. It says pork, bacon, hab, rabbit, hares, and rodents. Did you know that rabbits are in the mouse family? We're not supposed to be eating rabbits. They're in the mice family. Okay. Look at that. You got web-footed birds. Okay. All right. Birds of prey, eagles, snakes, snails. See, these are the creeping things All right. Snails, eels, all creeping things that crawl, fly, swim, frogs. And forgive me, y'all, I used to eat frog legs. You know, I used to eat frog legs back before I knew that they were an abomination. Now that I know they're an abomination, I won't touch them. So this is the book of Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7, okay? Specifically tells you, all right, and the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, of their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you, all right? So that's the book of Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1 through verse 8. As you go through 11, what you find out is that the Most High gives categories. He has the things on the land, the things in the sea. He has the birds, and then he has insects, okay? These are the list and the categories of what he told us we could eat and what he told us we cannot eat, okay? So with that being said, as you study the Bible for yourself, you'll see these details, and they're not far away. I had to go there because in this week's Torah portion, in the book of Isaiah chapter 66, we are told very specifically that when Yahushua, Christ, who the world ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus, when he comes back, he's going to kill everybody that eats swine's flesh. Listen, it says he's going to destroy, he's going to devour, he's going to burn into pieces everybody who eats pork. So when I tell you it's just not worth it, that the Most High gave us clean animals that we can eat. If you choose to, you can eat vegetation, but I'll tell you this, once a year, you are mandated to eat lamb once a year. And it's called the Passover, the Paschal, all right, the Pesach. On the Pesach, we have the Paschal, all right. On the Passover, we have the Passover lamb. And according to the book of Numbers chapter 6 or 9, I have to look at it, we are mandated to eat Passover just as the Most High commanded us to out of the mouth of Moses. This was not some trick that he played on us. He gave us instructions that were not good, and now we're just doing stuff he told us not to do. Okay, this is not what that is. What we're doing is that we're doing an overconsumption of what Yahweh has made to be good for us. And Israel has to learn how to listen. You don't need dieting, and having a knowledge of what you're eating is very important. If Yahweh said you can eat something, then please understand he's giving you liberty to, but it's up to you to use discretion on how much you do or how much you don't. All right. Obesity, sickness, like me, I'm obese. Like I consider myself to be obese because of I'm not in good shape. I am not in good shape. All right. And I need to go harder on my cardio and on my work now to get back in the good shape that I need to be in. All right. And that's even with me not eating a flesh eater, not being a big flesh eater. All right. Because I do have a small diet of meats that I eat. All right. But the point of saying all that is to say this, you know, a wise man will have care over his meat and diet, as Ecclesiastes says. So you don't have to cut everything out. But if you choose to, so be it. But I'll encourage you for this. Once a year, when Pesach comes, when Passover comes, you must eat lamb. If you want to go and be completely vegetation your whole life, there's nothing wrong with that. But once a year, we are mandated to keep our covenant and eat lamb. So now that we've seen that in the book of Leviticus chapter 11, which was not something that was inserted or put in there by the lion pens of the scribe. So please don't believe that Tom Dum foolery. All right. Let's go ahead and get started on reading the book of Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 1. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 1, and it reads, Thus saith Yahweh, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye shall build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things have my hand made, and all those things have been, saith Yahweh. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite heart, and trembleth at my word. So Yahweh is not concerned with the amount of offerings that we can give him, the amount of sacrifices that we can give him. Even though there was a time where we gave sacrifices and offerings in righteousness, the Most High, even as we fell in Psalms chapter 50, he tells us, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. He says, I made all these things. So just like Yahweh says he made all the animals, he says the same thing about all creation. He says, look, I made everything. You can't build a house for me. All right. But what he does say, it says, but to this will I look, to the man, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit. The man that is poor and has a contrite spirit, a broken down spirit, a spirit that knows like, yo, I used to be like this. I ain't like that no more. I can't do this. I tremble at the word of Yahweh because I'm afraid that if I go off from his word, then I'm going to die and lose his love for me. I'm going to lose his friendship, his relationship with me. He's going to cast me away from him. I don't want that. Yahweh said that's the man that he'll pay attention to. Verse 3. He that killeth an ox as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth the lamb is as if he cut off a dog's neck. And he that offereth oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Now, why did the Most High say that? Because we were given offerings to the false idols. We were given sacrifices to not Balaam, but Molech. We were given sacrifices to Molech, to Ashtaroth. All right. We chose our abominations, and we gave the offerings that the Most High righteously taught us to the false deities. It's the same example. If your lover gave you the right way to love them, and they gave that loving to some prostitute or to some pimp out in the streets, you know, someone who just completely didn't care about them. And it's the same thing. It's an offense to a sincere lover to see you give your love unto something or somebody that was undeserving and unworthy. Verse 4, I will also choose their delusions, and I will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spoke, they did not hear, but they did evil before my eyes, and chose that in which I did not, that in which I delight not. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye that tremble at his word, your brethren that hate you, that cast you out for my name's sakes, said, let Yahweh be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. The voice, a voice of noise from a city, from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who has heard of such a thing? Who has seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Now we see two different things here, okay? We see a prophecy speaking about the birth of Yahushua and how Miriam went through her childbirth. We also see how Israel will be delivered, and it'll be all of a sudden reaction. It'll be Israel will be suddenly saved. Okay. Verse 9. I shall bring to birth and shall not call, shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth, saith Yahweh? Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, saith the Most High? Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for her, with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides and be dandled upon her knees. So this is good news for the children of Israel and for the Gentiles. We will be redeemed and brought back home to our mother Yerushalayim, and the Gentiles will also, those that mourn for her, those that rejoice for her, they will be happy too. The whole world and All of creation is waiting to see Israel's return. So the Gentiles, to the Jew first and then to the Gentiles, as the scriptures say, the Gentiles will be happy when they see Israel is set back in place. When they see those of us, the chosen ones, that have went through this oppression, this captivity, and still going through it now. I just seen a video of a cop, Edomite cop, punched the crap out of this Israelite sister. You know, Israelite sister, she tried to bite him. You know, she didn't want to get arrested, so she tried to bite him. And when she tried to bite him, he just slugged her like a man, and put her down on her face. And these are the oppressions that we're going through right now in this terrible captivity, you know, just being dog walked by this dog ass nation, by this wicked, nasty, funky, Gentile, pink-toed nation and their evil constituents. But there's some of them who have compassion on us. There's some of them who don't want to see us be abused and be hurt. There's some of them who do want to see us return back home. But as of now, we have to go through our oppression. We have to go through our suffering, and we have to take it. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck. Ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of Yahweh shall be known towards his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together. I want to show you something specific. We're going to go to the word consume here. We're going to open up this tools button, and we're going to open up the interlinear Bible, which is going to show us what this verse says in Hebrew. In Hebrew, all right, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one in the midst. Now, right here, you see the word is tree here, but since there's no Hebrew word for tree, well, there's a Hebrew word for tree, but in this verse, it's showing you that the word tree was inserted here. So it literally skips down. Sanctify in the midst. Watch this. Eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed. Let's look at this word real quick. So this is the word we're paying attention to. Let's click on consumed. All right. And we're going to see what does consumed mean in this verse. Sawap. Sawap. All right. Sawap. Sup. Sawap. All right. This word means consume is used 5 times as sawap. Sup. It means utter, to have an end, to perish, to cease, to come to an end, to come to an end, to make to an end. This is something that's called the Gesenius Bible lexicon. Gesenius was an Israelite who put together, excuse me, I'll say he was an elder, who put together every word that was in Hebrew, and he broke down what the words are in Hebrew so we can know them today. Sawap, or sop, swap, swap, swap. All right. To snatch away, to carry away, to make an end. All right. Put in call in trans, to leave off, to desist. So this word literally means to be destroyed. Look, to take away, to destroy, to make an end of. So when Yahweh says, all those who eat swine's flesh shall be consumed, sawap. This is the perfect verse that your pastor should have, but never showed you. Shall be consumed, sawap. Samak, wawa, and pa. Swap. 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 It means to be destroyed. This verse made me mad when I first seen it because I already wasn't a big swine eater. I'll praise the Most High. You know, I ain't gonna stunt like I haven't had the abomination. I have. I've eaten shrimp. I've eaten lobster. I've eaten crab. I've eaten pig. I've eaten crocodile. I've eaten frozen octopus. I've eaten frog legs. I've eaten raccoon. I've eaten snail. I've eaten abominations. But I've repented of these things. And these things I do not eat anymore. Not even on accident. Like, I'm very vigilant on what I eat. All right. Where I eat at. This verse should scare the bejesus out of you. And if your parents, your friends, your families haven't seen this verse, you are responsible to teach them and to show them this verse. It literally says that when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to kill everybody who eats swine's flesh. Let's start at verse 15 again. For behold, I'm going to read this in English. For behold, the all capitals, this is the most high power, the Lord, Yahweh, will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Now, my first question is, have you ever seen a whirlwind hit a town and put everything nice in place? And I'm going to place the tree here. I'm going to place the car here. I'm going to put the roof on top of the house. Let's plant some little grass. No, a whirlwind doesn't do that. A whirlwind comes and brings destruction and destroys and tears up. Other scary part is that the Most High says he's going to bring his chariots. Now, I'm really curious about this verse. I want to see what the word chariots is in this verse. And even though I am under the persuasion to where I do teach that chariots are the Most High's UFOs, so-called UFOs, all right, these vehicles that you see flying in the sky that's making appearances, that America and the world is having a field day. They're like, we don't know what it is. We teach that these are the chariots of the Most High. I don't teach that they're fallen angels. I teach that they're the chariots of the Most High. Mara ka ba, mar ba, markaba, 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 mayam ra'ash ka ba and ha, markba, 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 markba. So let's see what the word markba means. Markba, and here's the root word for it. We're going to look up the root word also. The word markba means chariot. All right. It's used as markba. It's used as chariot 44 times. One definition, chariot, markba. All right. And let's see. Yeah, it just says chariot. All right. Especially a war chariot. All right. See the above cited examples. Markba. All right. Especially a war chariot. All right. Egyptian chariot. All right. Near the end, markba. All right. I want to go to the root word markba and see what that gives us. So when you're doing your research, your study, and you want to use this website, online etymology, blueletterbible.com, is two of my favorite sites. All right. So markba, markba, markba. All right. The other one had a ha at the end. So that's what we said. So look at this. Markba. The original word, it means saddle, chariot, covering, chariot, place to ride, riding seat, chariot, seats, of a litter, a saddle, markba, markba. All right, look at this. See also a seat in a vehicle, chariot, covering, saddle. So this is why a lot of Israelites teach that chariots are the so-called UFOs. They're the vehicles of the Most High. All right. Now I don't know what Yahweh has. I have no idea. I'm deathly afraid of him. Look at this. The seat of a chariot, markba, markba, markba. All right, from the root. Let me see. Let me see if we can go to the etymology of the root of this word. All right. And this is why it's good to study with a family, with a community, because you can look at things together. All right. All right. Rakab. Ra, ka, and ba. All right. Rakab. Let's see what rakab means. Rakab, it means to ride, to be carried, to be set, to be put, horseback, rider. Rakab. To mount, to ride. So this is why we say that chariots, so-called UFOs, are the vehicles of the Most High, are the vehicles of the angels. And as we see them appear more and more, I do believe that Esau is going to try to fire on these chariots and is going to just cause a world of destruction. All right. Esau don't want no smoke with the Most High's chariots. And I do believe that they're going to try to fire on them, but that's a whole nother subject. So rakab means what? Primitive root to ride on an animal or in a vehicle. Rakab, car, rakab, rakab. I can see that. It's ra'ash, which is head, ka, which is like cop, sit in, and bayath, to be inside of. All right. So I can see that, to be covered with. All right, to sit in, to be inside of, rakab. All right, so that's what I'm gonna start calling my car. I should put that on my license plates. Rakab. That'd be fly. Okay, so let's go back to this. So we see, let me see. Okay, we got makrabah, 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 I'm sorry. Marakab. All right. So, yeah, man, it's fun learning Hebrew, man. It's one of my favorite subjects. All right. So we see the rakab, or the chariots. Okay. As we seen, these are vehicles. It says what? For the Lord will come with fire with his chariots. All right. Like a whirlwind, to render his anger. Does it sound like he's going to be happy when he comes back? No. With fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. And this is something I like to ask whenever I read this verse. Does fire tickle? Fire absolutely does not tickle. So everything that's about this verse 15, is so many things that's leading to destruction, that's giving you context clues of something terribly bad is going to happen when Yahweh comes back. Look at this. Verse 16, for by fire and by sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain, everybody knows what slain is. Slain means to be killed. All right. And the slain of Yahweh shall be many. So many people are going to die when Yahweh comes back. All right. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst. Look at this, eating swine's flesh. And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh. You see that? So Isaiah 66 is very important. All right. We see Yahweh redeeming us, Yahweh correcting us, but we also see his judgment coming. Now, it's not over with. The end of this verse is actually scarier than the beginning. Verse 18. For I know their works and their thoughts. So when people say the Lord know my heart, he sure does. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, to Pul, to Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles far off, So the Most High is naming off these different Gentile locations that have not heard of my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. All praise. And they shall bring who? The Gentiles. You see this? So to go Yom, the Gentiles have a place. Watch this. And they shall bring your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh out of all nations upon horses and in Rakabium, Makarab, Marakabyum, in vehicles. See? And they shall bring your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh out of all nations upon horses and in Rakabium, Marakabium, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith Yahweh, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahweh. Man, don't tell me the Most High didn't accept offerings. Yeah, it just sounds stupid. Verse 21. And I will also take them for priests and for Levites. So you got certain brothers that's trying to discredit the fact that Yahweh will be setting up the Levitical priesthood again. The Levitical priesthood isn't over with. Yahweh just took the Levitical priesthood responsibility and he gave it to his son Yahushai because we weren't doing it right. But when Yahushai comes back, he's going to reestablish Levi. He's going to clean up Levi. And Levi is going to offer sacrifices once again. We can find that in the book of Malachi chapter 3. Matter of fact, let's go there. Malachi chapter 3. And let's see if we can find this in the blue letter. Malachi chapter 3. There we go. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1, because there was a big thing that was going on Facebook, and this brother was going hard. He was like, there's nowhere in the Bible that there's going to be sacrifices in the new paradise. There's not going to be sacrifices in the new Garden of Eden. And I'm like, you just repeating catchphrases that you heard Yaki say, that you heard Malachi Maccabee say, but you haven't read for yourself. There will be sacrifices, and the scriptures don't say there's going to be the Garden of Eden. It shall be as like. All right, we're going to be living in Jerusalem, and the world is going to be pure again. But even in this new form, people are going to have the ability to choose to do right or to do wrong. And if they do, they're going to get destroyed. Just like there's going to be dead bodies when Yahushua comes back. There's going to be people that are going to be burying the dead bodies after Yahushua comes. So you Negroes is getting only half. And some of you Puerto Ricans, you Ephraimites too. Ephraim really is a silly dove sometimes. Like, I'll be like, yo, calm down, Ak. You making the rest of the Ephraimites look bad by your misbehavior. Okay. So, again, man, you know, some brother named Willard, you know, I think that's his name on Facebook. I can go to it and find out. He was just being extra. Saying it's nowhere in the Bible. I can't prove it. I can't show it. I'm like, okay. Where did you come from anyway? Matter of fact, I'll make sure I tag his name in this since I said it. Watch this, everybody. Tell me what y'all think about this. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare a way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide in the day of his coming? Or who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. Now, for those of you who don't know, let me show you. This is what a refiner's fire is. Now, why does the scripture say when Yahushua comes back, he will be like a refiner's fire? You see that? This is the example of a refiner's fire. A refiner's fire it's all to smelt. It's to melt down. All right. It's to burn. It's to start over. It's to cleanse. A refiner's fire is extreme heat. Okay. These are examples of a refiner's fire. Okay. Now, who is going to be like a refiner's fire when they return? 2nd Ezra chapter 13, KJV. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Look at this, starting at verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the seas, and it moved all the ways thereof. And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens. So that's Yahushua with all of his thousands of chariots, okay? All of his thousands of angels with him. All right, the thousands of heavens. And when he turned his countenance, that's his face, to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whatsoever, look at this, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, as if the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And if you don't understand what that is, that's just a picture of grass after it's been singed or burned. It says the whole world is going to look like that. Okay. Now watch this. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was not prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dusk and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. This is the prophet Ezra given a prophecy of this refiner's fire from Sirach, 2nd Ezra chapter 2. And we see him speaking on it, the same example that we see in the book of Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who may abide? This means who's going to live, who's going to survive, who may abide in the day of his coming, who shall stand when he appeareth. For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. Let's get an image of fuller's soap. All right. Is this necessary? It absolutely is. You know why? The scripture says a faithless generation desireth after a sign. The people have to be shown things. You know what a fuller's soap is? It's a rough grain soap. Okay. Here, let me give you an example of what orange mechanic soap. See this? This is like a fuller's soap. It's a soap that has grit and has grain in it. See, I don't know if you've all ever used this, but first of all, this soap smells amazing. If you worked on cars or worked on houses or you got grime on your skin and stuff like that, this soap works amazing. All right. It gets all the grit out. Why? Because it's got little bitty pieces of like of abrasive substance in it, and it scrubs your skin. So when the scripture says he is like a fuller's soap, it's talking about a soap that you can use to scrub with. It's a real abrasive soap. So when Yahushua comes back, he's coming to clean. He's coming to destroy and to clean house, buddy. All right. Let's get back to Malachi. But who may abide? This is Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who may abide in the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify who? The sons of Levi. It don't say the sons of the order of Melchizedek. It says he shall purify the sons of Levi. Look at this. And purge them as gold and as silver, that they, the sons of Levi, may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. You see that? So Levi is going to be given sacrifices again. You don't believe me? Let's keep reading. Malachi chapter 3, verse 4. Then shall the offerings of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto Yahweh, as in the days of old and as in former years. A future prophecy about when the Messiah returns and how he's going to reestablish Levi and implement sacrifices once again. But hold that thought right there. Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 51. Look at this. King David, he says the same thing. King David says, the sacrifices of Allahiah are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Allahiah, thou will not despise. Now, does this mean that the Most High doesn't want, nor will he be accepting sacrifices? No. All this verse means is that after you give an offering or a sacrifice, be sincere about it. Have a broken heart. A sacrifice isn't just for you to be like, here, I got an animal for you. No, it's to be like, Yahweh, I did wrong. Most High, I did wrong. Here go this baby lamb, 1 year old. And this lamb ain't never did wrong. Now I got to shed this lamb's blood. I'm sorry for what I did. That's the objective, is once you give the offering to actually feel bad about the thing that you did. These Negroes trying to take away sacrifices altogether, and Yahweh said he's going to reinstitute it when he comes back. Somebody lying. It's you, brothers. It ain't the Bible and it ain't me. It's the brothers that's speaking against sacrifices. And here go the other pathetic part about it. It only popped up within the last 3 months. I might be giving too much leeway. It might be only 2 months. But only 3 months ago, this super stupid doctrine done popped up, and Israel is just like, oh my God, oh, this is so deep. It's pathetic. Look at this. King David in verse 18 says, do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion, or in other words, do your judgment as you said you would do unto Israel, unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Then, the very last verse, then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings and whole burnt offerings. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. You Negroes can't get around this. And y'all got to stop lying, man. Stop being damn polyparrots and just repeating what these brothers are saying and not looking up this information yourselves. This is a future prophecy right here. Israel has not finished our judgment. Our land, our mother has not been risen up. The Most High has not done, do good in thy good pleasure to Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. The Most High has not done this yet. So therefore, this prophecy hasn't come into its fruition. Then, which is a future context phrase, then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings and whole burnt offerings. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. Oh, all we got to do is go to this same verse in Hebrew and break it down in Hebrew. What are sacrifices? Zabach. Zabach. Sacrifices. Sacrifice of righteousness. Sacrifice of strife. Sacrifice of dead things, not of plants and of bread and rice cakes. Sacrifice, the covenant sacrifice. Look at this. The Passover. Annual sacrifice, thanks offering. These Negroes are straight up pathetically lying, and y'all got to stop falling for it. This look, I'm not getting myself all riled up over this foolery, because it's no more than, again, it's no more than another form of Hebrew Israelite Mormonism. That's all it is. I'm so grateful for this week's Torah portion, because this week's Torah portion total draws off of that wicked lie. Now what they gonna say? That the prophet Isaiah is lying? That the prophet Isaiah's words was added in by the lying pen of the scribes? Zabach, a slaying, hence of flesh, of slain animals, a sacrifice, an offering of victim. Come on, man. You can't make this stuff up. This information has been here, and the fact that these brothers are trying to take this information away, shame on them and shame on you all for falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. And y'all have been speaking against the Bible. But now that you see this, I'm hoping and I'm praying that you'll consider and repent. Okay, this is the same thing. This is the book of I was about to say the book of Zabach. No, not the book of sacrifice. The book of Psalms, chapter 51. It's the same thing in modern Hebrew and in Lashon Kodash and in Paleo Hebrew. Okay, so I had it pulled up, but there's no need to go to it right now. So let's go back to this. So this is the book of Isaiah 66, verse 21. And I will also take them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahweh. That's the exact same thing that we seen over here in the book of Malachi, chapter 3. All right, Malachi, chapter 3. Verse 3, and he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons. I didn't come out of no weirdo books. I didn't come out of no weirdo, like, oh, we found the gospel of the 12. We found the book of Nazareth. I didn't come out of none of those foolery books. Straight from the Bible, line upon line, precept upon precept. I'm not taking away nothing. I'm not adding to. Just, it says it here. It says it there. Now what you got to say about it? And he shall sit as a refiner of fire and of silver. He shall purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and as silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant to Yahweh as in the days of old and as in former years. Psalms chapter 51. All right. If you ever have trouble finding it, it's the very last 3 verses. It's the last 2 verses specifically, but the last 3. All right. King David says what? Thou desireth not sacrifice, else I would give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offerings. The sacrifice of Allahiah are a broken spirit, a broken heart, and a broken and a contrite heart. O Allahiah, thou wilt not despise. Now again, I am fully aware of what I read. I know what I just gave you. And it is not ammunition against what we're teaching. It's that you can see it for yourself. You got to know the full spectrum, because the Most High says the same thing in Isaiah chapter 1. He tells us that what? He says he wants a broken heart. He wants us to do right. That's it. Once you give your offering, do right. But Israel is so stiff-necked and hard-headed that even after we gave offerings, we still did wrong. But watch this. The sacrifice of Allahiah are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O Allahiah, thou wilt not despise. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Then shall thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offerings and whole burnt offerings. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thy altar. Back to the book of Isaiah chapter 66. And I will take also them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahweh. As for the new heavens and the new earth, for these brothers that want to come and talk about, we go into the new Garden of Eden. You Negroes sound like Jehovah's Witnesses, straight off of what's that boy name? Charles Taze Russell. You brothers sound like Hebrew, Mormon, Charles Taze Russell, veganites, Mormon, Jehovah Witness, veganites. I don't know. Hebrew, Mormon, witness, vegan. I don't know. Sound like a whole mixture of bull crap. And y'all gone astray, man. And y'all leading others astray. For as a new heavens and a new earth, which I will make, shall remain before them, saith Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. You see that? So when he says, I am the Lord thy God, I change not, therefore the children of Israel are not consumed, he's going to keep his promise. He promised that Levi will be a priest unto him forever. All right. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another. Do y'all know what we did on new moon? We had feasts and we sacrificed animals. And from one Shabbat to another, we sacrificed animals and we had feast on the Shabbat. Shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. Now watch this part. If you don't think there's going to be death in the new kingdom when Yahushua comes back, then you just haven't read. It's time for you to see it. And those that are teaching you aren't teaching you. They're deceiving you. Look at this. Isaiah 66, verse 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. This is a physical, literal place. This isn't some, don't try to make this, oh no, well, that's a metaphor. No, this is a physical, literal location. This is a physical place to where we shall be able to go forth and ra'ah, look upon the pagar, the carcasses. Now let's look at pagar and see what pagar is. The word pagar, it means carcass, dead body, corpse, carcasses, monument, stela, corpse of a man, corpse of animals. You see that? So the Most High knows what he's talking about. Y'all got to stop listening to these dudes that listen. Anybody that flip-flop their doctrine in like in 2 months and then want to pop up and start teaching, I'm gonna be like, yo, Negro, what? I'm already like that. Like, yo, you wasn't teaching that. Yo, where you coming with this new foolery from? Oh, I've been thinking like that. Well, you're a dishonest person, because if you've been thinking like that, then why was you teaching the truth? Why was you teaching the on topics and now you teaching the off topics? You can't get around this. Isaiah 66, Malachi chapter 3, Psalms 51. All of them teach us the same thing, that sacrifices will be reinstituted when Yahushua comes back. And there's even going to be a place for the dead bodies, for those who transgress against Yahweh. Look at this. It says their worm shall not die. If their worm shall not die, this means that their carcasses are going to be there. They're going to be either. I've heard some Israelites say, well, this is going to be a place where we'll be able to physically see hell. And I am not against that. I just can't prove it. I only have this information to go off of. All right. I only have this information to go off of and a few other precepts. But for what I can see, this is a physical location of where torment will be. Okay. So now this is, again, just the tip of the iceberg. Stop letting people lie to you and deceive you with these new dummy doctrines, these new blow Joe bubble gum, open up a wrapper, put the gum in your mouth, read the back of the wrapper. Oh, this is my new doctrine. Hey, y'all, look what I found. I found this at the corner store. Stop letting people deceive y'all with this tomfoolery. And listen, stick to the truth that you knew. Stick to the word that you knew from the beginning. All right. 1 John chapter 2, KJV BLB. All right. Stick to the word that you knew from the beginning. Okay. Here, let me pull up another screen share. I want to show y'all another scripture, man. It's greatly disappointing to see this madness happen. And look, and if nobody's ever showed y'all that, look, there's more scriptures that show us that there's going to be sacrifices when Yahushua comes back. So there's no way around it. The Negroes is just lying. And I was so happy when I seen this week's Torah portion was Isaiah 66. And I was like, boom, Yahweh, you never fail. His word is always on time. And then you got one of them unsavory brothers, you know. It's just bad. It's just bad. Look at this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 John chapter 2. Watch this verse. No, oh man, I'm so mad about that. Come on, man. I don't want ads and all that stuff. Go away, please. All right. 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a what, everybody? Is a liar. These men are proving themselves to be liars. They're trying to take away. Let me look. If these Negroes, if you left it up to them, this is 1611 King James Bible, right? Right? These Negroes are stopping at the book of Isaiah chapter, at Psalms chapter, Proverbs, my bad, Proverbs chapter 1. This is it. This is their Bible. This is their Bible, paper thin. Oh, hold up. And Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, every herb giving meat and that. And then after that, everything was added in by the line pen of the scribes. You don't got to read nothing else. Negroes got one-page Bibles. Boy, man, it's so pathetic, man. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Hold that thought. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, KJV BLB. That's my radio disc jockey voice. All right. So again, he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. All right. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. It says what? To the law. And you see what they're doing. They're trying to dismantle the Torah, trying to dismantle the law and say that the law was added by this person. No, Masha wrote the law. Masha wrote the law. It was destroyed. And then the prophet Ezra rewrote the law. And it was given back to us by the prophet Ezra. The prophet Ezra is more powerful than what y'all got, than what we're giving him credit for. The Most High used him in a mighty way. So if you have the book of Ezra, study it. If you have the book of 1st Ezra, 2nd Ezra, study. And if you can't read it, you can listen to it. Watch this. to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, what word? To the law of the Most High and to the testimony of his only begotten Son, Yahushua. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Flat out, no way around it. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandment is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him is verily is the love of Allah perfected. Hereby we know that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also to walk even as he walked. If Yahushua kept Passover, dagnammit, you should keep Passover too. The Passover is called Pascal. The Pascal, P-A-S-C-A-L. That's the name of the animal that we slew for the sins of Israel. Now, if you eat lamb today, it doesn't mean you're making a sacrifice. It means you're just eating the animal. You have to go through a whole process to make it a sacrifice. There's a difference between slaughtering, you know, putting a righteous kill, eating your meat, and there's a difference in between actually doing a sacrifice. All right. Some brother, man, he said that to me. He's like, well, if you kill it and eat it, ain't that the same thing as making a sacrifice? And I'm like, no, brother, it's not. No, brother, it's not. No one should ever think about making a sacrifice for Israel's sins by the giving of a flesh right now, because Yahushua is our sacrifice. Okay, look at this. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you. And everybody pay attention to this. But an old commandment, which ye had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. You see that? So don't listen to this new doctrine, man. It's Tom Damfukery. It's madness. And it's leading so many baby brews astray. And some people just aren't stable. Some people are not emotionally stable. Some people aren't mentally. Some people aren't spiritually stable. So they'll fall for anything that you put in front of them. And I feel like, you know, Satan is using these brothers to perform witchcraft on Israel. And yes, Yaki Hickman is straight up coming from a Reiki. We got a brother that's an Israelite that lives in India. And I'm going to have him to break down all of that imagery, you know, the logo, the necklace that the brother be wearing, the logo that's on his stuff, the things they be talking about on his webpage. And I'm going to have that East Indian brother, that Israelite brother that lives in East India, to break that information down for y'all so y'all can see it for yourselves. It goes straight back into Hinduism. The brother holding up books on chakras, For goodness sakes, men that are sitting in the lotus position. What scripture is that? We're supposed to meditate on the word day and night. That's Psalms chapter 1. Again, this is verse 8. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth. You see that? So it's not a new commandment. It's not, we just found this out and this is what y'all need to be doing. Nah, everybody, stick to the script, stick to the law and to the testimony. All right. Yahweh will keep you safe in that. All right. So I'm going to close down 2nd Ezra. We've seen where Yahweh shall come back. That's the fuller soap. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 11, the dietary law, where Yahweh tells us what to eat, what not to eat. This is a very cool song that I like, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all know this. All right, this is the this is Yahushai's prayer in Paleo Hebrew. All right, I got that pulled up. Y'all know I always got some type of something for you. I always got some type of gift or something to give y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Shalom, Amayan. Shalom, Amath, Anyahavlaka. Happy to see you. All right. Shalom, Na'awa. All praise. Baro. All praise. How music. Khan, non-kosher. Shalom. I'm happy to see you, man. Always, man. All praise. Shalom, Mashpaka. Happy to see you all. All right. So let me get back to this, man. So we do not concede. We do not give in to this false doctrine. We tell everybody, stick with what you've been given, to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh. All right. There's no way around it. Okay. Masha, his brother Aharon, they knew the judgments of Yahweh. They knew that Yahweh was going to destroy us every time we rebelled against them. Okay? We came into this covenant under a sacrificial blood offering, a blood sacrifice, blood in, blood out. All right? B-L-O-O-D. You know what it is. Y'all know what it is. We came up under an altar. We came up under the blood sacrifice of Yahweh. We are saved under the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai. Okay? This is the book of Exodus chapter 24, and we're going to start at verse 1. I'm not going to cheat you. I'm going to treat you. Watch this. Exodus chapter 24, verse 1. And he said unto Mashah, come up unto Yahweh, thou and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and the 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Mashah alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Mashah came and told the people the words of Yahweh and all the judgments, and all the people answered in one voice and said, Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wa Nashamai. All which Yahweh has said, we will do. The word Shemai means to do and to hear. So whenever y'all hear us reading at the end of every Torah portion, and we say, Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wa Nashamai, this is what we're saying, because this is what our grandparents said. And I just want to give double honors to the elders that actually dropped this jewel on us, that taught us how to say this, okay? This is what we say at the end of each Torah portion reading. Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wa Nashamai. All that Yahweh has said will we do and hear. All right? Watch this. And Mashah wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. This is in the book of Exodus. You know how pathetic it is that these Negroes are trying to take away Exodus? These Negroes got one-page Bibles. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 30. Okay, everybody close your pamphlets. Everybody fold your pages. We're done reading for the day. And Mashah, look at this. And Mashah took half of the blood and put it in basins, and the other half he sprinkled on the altar. And he took a book. He took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wa Nashamai. All that Yahweh has said, we will do and be obedient. This is what we say at the end of every Torah portion reading. So I'm talking to the brother Nehemiah from St. Louis. The brother gonna say, referring to me earlier, that we're keeping the heathen custom because we reading the Torah portion to the people every Shabbat. Well, Negro, you keeping the heathen custom because you keeping the documentary hypothesis, which teaches that the Bible is incorrect and that it was written by different scribes who y'all don't even know the names of these damn people. And we can read right here where Mashah stood up and he read the covenant into the ears of the people. We can read where Ezra stood up and read the covenant into the ears of the people. We can read where Yahushai went into the synagogue on a Shabbat day and he stood to read as his custom was. And the book even says he read from the book of the law. See, the problem is they want people to submit to that foolery that they doing. And since there's brothers that don't submit, and we will not go along with that, and we love you Israelites, that they can't do nothing but throw hissy fits and try to throw very immature crayons at us like little toddlers. When the fact of the matter is, no, we will not stand for allowing Israel to be manipulated and to be used. And now you got everybody buying, you got all of Israel buying from your damn vegan website because you done trained all the Israelites that there were no sacrifices ever existed. Before y'all know it, you're going to have Dr. Sabi #2. And y'all tell me this, did Dr. Sabi believe in Hamashiach? I don't know. I heard that he did not believe in Hamashiach, but I can't say that for a fact because I don't know it. Look, how can you get around this? The only way you can get around this is if you can convince the people that it wasn't written in the Bible. That's a Jedi mind trick out of this world. It wasn't written in the Bible. Moses never gave sacrifices. Moses only wrote Genesis chapter 1. It never happened. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they all said, all that Yahweh has said, we will do and be obedient. And Masha took the blood and sprinkled it upon the people. And behold, the blood of the covenant, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahweh hath made with you concerning all these words. Like, what do you do when it's written and then somebody's trying to Jedi mind trick you into thinking that it's not written? You got to cut you off, because you out here trying to hurt and manipulate the sheep, and you so convinced in your mind, and you walking around so, so sure about what you're saying that you got other people repeating it. I shouldn't have novices in the scriptures trying to combat with me over this false doctrine. That's Exodus chapter 24, verse 1 through verse 8. Actually, I should have novices, because what we should be doing is proving all things. All right. And unfortunately, there's a lot of young Israelites that are being hurt by this false doctrine, man. It's a lot of baby brews that are being hurt by this. Isaiah chapter 48, KJV BLB. That's not what I said. I said 48. But it does sound like I said 48. All right. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 46. Verse 1, Baal boweth down, Nebo stoopeth. Their idols were upon the beasts and upon the cattle. Your carriages were heavy laden. They are a burden to the weary beasts. They stooped, they bowed down together. They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone into captivity. Hearken unto me, O who? O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. And even to your old age, I am he. And even to hoary hairs will I carry you. I have made, I will bear, even I will carry and deliver you. To whom will you liken me? To make me equal, and to compare me, that we may be alike. You see what Yahweh's doing? So from verse 1, he's showing you how we worship the false idols. We worship Baal. We worship Nebo. We gave them our sacrifices and our offerings that Yahweh had us to do for him in the beginning, not the fact that we just did it all together. If I ever give my lover, say I take a new rib, which is still a possibility because I always want to bear children. All right. Say I take a new rib and I say, new rib, this is exactly how I like things done. And this is exactly how I want things done for me. And my new rib goes and does that for Brother Bardo. All right. New rib of mine. I like my fish fried crispy, and I like my rice. I like my rice with chunky vegetables and fried rice and crispy fish. That's my favorite meal. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna do that for Bardo though. What do you mean you're gonna do that for Bardo? I told you that's what I like. How can you take the good things that I gave it thou, and now you're gonna do them for somebody else? This is what Israel did. And I'm sorry, Bardo, to use you for that example. I apologize. Most High bless you, keep you, make his face to shine upon you. You know, since I have love for you, it hurt for me to say it. But that's what the example is. It's a hurtful example. Israel, we played the whore. We played the adulterer. We played the harlot. And this is why the Most High called us whores. because we gave our love to the other nations, to the false deities. These Negroes is straight up flat out lying, and they're not giving y'all the full story. The Most High gave us offerings. He gave us sacrifices. He taught us how to show him love, and we went and did it for the other nations. That's the details. And I don't know why it's so hard to say that. I mean, at least from these brothers, they should be like, yo, this is this. And hey, look, we got a vegan shop. And if you want to, we can sell you some stuff. I would encourage you not to eat meat, but you can if you want to. But instead, they came with a whole new daggone doctrine. And it's wicked as hell. I did say I'm going to try to keep this video short, man. Spirit came on me, brother. Oh, man, it's been 4 hours. I'm done. The scripture says quenching out the spirit. I was actually trying to go for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I didn't even know that the rest of this was going to come out. So in Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 1 through verse 4, the Most High shows us what we did wrong. He also showed us how he will be there with us always. Verse 5, he says, to whom will you liken me and make me equal and compare me that we may be alike? Listen, there's nobody like Allahiyah. There's nobody like our king. There's nobody like our great lover, our fervent lover who we should ever give our attention and our affection to. Nobody. Look at what the Most High said, verse 6. They lavish gold out of the bag. They weigh silver in the balance. They hire a goldsmith. They make it a god. They fall down. Yea, they worship it. That's what the problem was. It wasn't that we was eating flesh. It wasn't even that we was giving sacrifices. It's that we were making idols and we were giving sacrifices to the false deities. That's what the problem is. All right. So I just don't get, man. For me, I just don't get how, how not only can Israel be so easily deceived going with every wind and doctrine, but I don't get how brothers that are supposed to be teachers can be deceivers at the same time. You a liar. You a damn liar, matter of fact. And if you don't repent and stop this heresy, you're going to be a damned liar. Okay. We are not to be vegans. Vegan etymology. Donald Watson. I've shown this before. I just want to show it again. Okay. Look at this. Donald Watson, founder of the Vegan Society, coined the word vegan in 1944 as a statement against vegetarians who ate dairy products. He took the first and last letters of the word vegetarian to create his orthodox vision of vegetarianism. So all of these brothers I'm a vegan. I thought you was an Israelite. I thought you was a Hebrew. I thought that you was of the 12 tribes, that you was a Jew, brother. Oh, I didn't know that you were a follower of Donald Watson. Oh, you're a Hebrew veganite. Look at this. Donald Watson, father of veganism. I guess I already pulled it up before. This is who they're calling themselves after. This Gentile right here. This is who they're calling themselves after. If you want to listen, again, I don't have a problem with anyone who wants to eat vegetations. No problem. No worries. Eat away. Go green. I'm with you. But according to the scriptures, you have to eat the Passover lamb. Otherwise, your soul will be cut off. Okay. So if anybody's ever wondering, this is the dude. All right. Donald Watson. He's the one that the terminology veganism came from. Any Israelite that's calling himself a vegan, they're a follower of Donald Watson. And Donald Watson, he got this theory from a dude named Pythagoras. All right. Pythagoras. All right. Pythagoras theory, all that good stuff. It's just so basic. It's a basic lame teaching. And the breakdown of it is so quick and comprehensible. It'll make you be like, why are they even talking about this? But I praise Yahweh because it's basic and it's easy and it's simple for us. Maybe they're blinded. Maybe the spirit, maybe we don't know. We don't know. I'm going to end this video right here. All right. I'm going to say, Anya Hablakam, Yabrakakam Yahweh Bashama Mashiach Yahushai. Let me go down and go through some of these comments after I play one of my favorite songs in the whole wide world. All right. Can y'all hear that? What a smooth groove that is. Shalom, which means peace.
A selection of songs you're about
a selection of songs, but this is the most fire song ever. This song is amazing. All right, let's get to this real quick. We got Akwat Nawa, we got Ashwan Arab. She said Shalom. We got Baro busting up a big laugh, man. All praise, man. That gladness, man. I'm happy to see that. We got How Music in the building. All praise. Them brothers do some amazing music too, man. Make sure y'all keep up with Northern Kingdom. All right. Baro said Me Too. All right. All praise. The Me Too movement. All right. Shalom family from Na'awa. Sister Cumley from St. Louis. All right. Amaya. It's so weird now because I used to say Mina. All right. So Amayan. All right. The sister said Shalom Mashbaka. We got.
This is the tongue of the children of Israel.
Oh, Ashaya Shalom. Look at you not change your name. Ashaya. It's Ashaya wa Shalama. All right, but great job, Ashaya Shalama. All right, his woman of truth. Great job. I like that. The sister changed her name to Yahweh, his woman of truth. That's fly. All right. We got a 101 from Amayan. And it looks like that's it. That looks like that's it for the comments. Okay. Well, Anya Hablakam, I love you all. All right, that's it for this week. Torah portion reading pertaining to the prophets. When the sun comes up, we'll do the gospel. All right. So I pray everybody had a good Shabbat, a great Shabbat. All right. If anybody needs me, and Thawada, I did get a message. All right. I appreciate that. I caught it kind of late, but I got it. So, but I pray everybody rest well. I love you all. All right. And remember, the scripture says to the law and to the testimony. If they speaking on this word, it's because there is no light in them. Okay. So make sure you all speak according to the law, statutes, commandments, and to the. If you have any questions, if you're not sure, if you're really wondering about the doctrine that they're teaching, or if some of it's starting to grab your attention, you're like, I don't know, this seems kind of right. You know, just holler at me, holler at us. All right, because we're not here to take away from the Torah. We're here to add. We're here to not add to. We're here to add to your understanding. All right. So again, Anya Hablakam, I love you all. Shalom, Kwam, Yasha, Allah, Yabrakam, Yamasham,